So welcome back students. Good morning to you all ma. I hope that you are all staying well in your home. So in the last class I taught you about that modern periodic table, isn't it? Today also we are going to continue the modern periodic table, how the elements are arranged and so on, okay. So modern periodic table was proposed by Henry Moseley in 1913. Already I discussed somewhat about that modern periodic table. Here the periodic table of elements has been placed here. Okay. So this is a modern periodic table proposed by Henry Moseley. Can you remember the modern periodic law? So what is modern periodic law? The physical and chemical properties of the elements or the periodic function of their atomic numbers. The physical and chemical properties of the elements or the periodic function of their atomic numbers. So here the elements are arranged according to the increasing order of atomic numbers, isn't it? So hydrogen with the atomic number 1, then helium with the atomic number 2, then lithium atomic number 3, beryllium atomic number 4, boron atomic number 5, carbon atomic number 6, nitrogen with atomic number 7, oxygen with atomic number 8, fluorine with atomic number 9, neon with atomic number 10. So as like this, the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic number, okay. So now, so already you know that. So whenever the elements are arranged in the order of increasing atomic number, there occurs some repetition of properties, isn't it? They are at regular intervals, isn't it? So now let us see the periodic table first of all. So in a periodic table, the elements are arranged in vertical columns as well as in horizontal rows, okay. So if we consider this means this is the vertical column which we call it as groups. So here we call it as periods. The elements which are arranged in the horizontal rows are called as periods. Appo how many periods அப்படினு பார்த்தோம்னா there are 7 periods, okay. There are 7 periods and that means which we call it as the vertical columns are known as periods. The vertical columns are known as periods, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But how many periods are there here? 7 periods. And how many groups are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Appo there are how many vertical columns அப்படினு பார்த்தோம்னா how many vertical columns are there? There are 18 vertical columns are there which we call it as groups. Now in the modern periodic table there are 18 groups and having 7 horizontal rows which we call it as periods, okay. அப்போ பார்த்தோம்னா in the first period consists of 2 elements. What are they? Hydrogen and helium. அப்போ first period contains hydrogen and helium, okay. Second period it starts from lithium and ends at neon. So second period starts from lithium. So this is the second period elements, okay. It starts from lithium and ends at to neon, okay. And the third period here also it starts from sodium and ends at argon. Starts from sodium and ends at argon, okay. The fourth period it starts from potassium and starts from potassium ends at krypton, okay. So between that here we have one more types of elements which we call it as d block elements. Can you remind that these two groups, the first group and second group elements are known as S block elements and group number from 13 to 18 we call that as P block elements and from group number 3 to 12 we call it as D block elements and here we have placed 2 rows at the bottom of the periodic table which we call it as lanthanide. That means F block elements. Can you remind this ma? In the last class I taught you about this, isn't it? Yes, what do you mean by that? But S block element, P block element, D block element and F block elements. Can you remind that? S block elements means in which the electrons enters into S orbital, isn't it? P block means elements that means the valence electron enters in P orbital and so on, okay. Upon so how these elements are arranged அப்படினு பார்த்தனா this is the S block elements, these are known as P block elements. In between S and P block elements, here the green shaded part, isn't it, which we call it as D block elements. From this to this we have D block elements, okay. We call these as D block elements. And here the bottom of the periodic table we have two rows which we call it as F block elements, okay. Already I taught you how can we remind that S, P, D, F. The fourth period starts from potassium and ends at krypton, okay. And then fifth period, which consists of from rubidium. Here this is the rubidium. RB means rubidium. Rubidium to xenon. Starts from rubidium and ends at xenon. Okay, xenon. Then the sixth period starts from cesium. Okay, cesium and ends at, so this is the sixth period elements, ends at radon. Then the seventh period starts from francium and ends at orgium. So now the seventh period starts from francium, ends at orgazon, okay. So when we consider this, if we conclude all these the periods of these elements means, here all the elements starts from s orbital. All the elements starts from s orbital, isn't it? Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, which we call it as group 1 elements. Yeah? Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, which we call it as group 1 elements. Therefore, starts from s orbital, which means the electron starts to fill the s orbital. When we consider here, let us write the helium here, okay. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, oxygen, which we call it as inert gases. That means when we move from this side to this side, from left to right of the periodic table means the shell becomes completed. Here we have the electronic configuration of Ns2 Np6. That means it attains its octet configuration. So in this way only, here the electrons are arranged in the modern periodic table. I will describe you now one by one. So before that, let us consider, so here the first period contains only 2 elements. The first period contains only 2 elements, which we call this period as a very short period. Very short period. The period number 1, which contains only the 2 elements such as hydrogen and helium, which we call it a short period, which we call this period as a very short period, which we call the first period as a very short period. If we consider the second as well as the third period, the second as well as the third period contains 8 elements, okay. So from this to this, it contains 8 elements. From sodium to argon, here also it constitutes 8 elements. Therefore, the second as well as the third period both contains 8 elements each. We call these 2 periods as a short periods. Therefore, the second and third periods in the modern periodic table are known as short periods, okay. Then let us consider the fourth and fifth period. So this is the fourth period and this is the fifth period. Here when we count all these means it contains nearly 18 elements, okay. So now the fourth and fifth period, okay. This is the fourth period, this is the fifth period, which contains here S block elements, here P block elements, in between we have D block elements also. So when we count this means from this to this we have nearly 18 elements each in fourth period as well as in fifth period, which contains S block elements, P block elements as well as D block elements. Therefore, these 2 periods, the fourth period as well as the fifth period, which contains 18 elements each, are known as long periods, okay. So now the sixth as well as the seventh period. The sixth period contains S block elements, P block, D block and also this F block elements. These F block elements are also included here only. Can you see here the atomic number from 58 to 71, which constitutes the lanthanides, and then from atomic number 90 to 103. So this is the portion where the actinides are placed actually in the periodic table, okay. Apo these 2 also included here, okay. Along with this, if you count means nearly 32 elements are there in both 6th as well as in the 7th periods, including S block, P block, D block and F block elements. So totally there are 32 elements each in both 6th as well as the 7th period. We call these two periods as a very long periods, okay. So these two periods are known as very long periods, okay. Now let us see what are the subshells are arranged in between all these periods from here to here. And then one more point, from this 7th period, these are all radioactive elements. So the 7th period is considered to be a radioactive element, okay. Now let us get one more point. Here itself you just look at here. So the group 1 elements are known as alkali metals, and the group 2 elements are known as alkaline earth metals. Actually, why it is called as alkali metals? Why group 1 elements are known as alkali metals? Actually, the word alkali is derived from Greek word which means plant ashes, okay. Alkali advent paathanale, here it contains, let us take an example as sodium. Sodium, when it reacts with water, it forms sodium hydroxide and gives out hydrogen gas, okay. When it reacts with water, it forms sodium hydroxide and gives out hydrogen gas. That means it forms alkali. In a form agudhu, here it forms alkali. Alkali means basic nature, isn't it? OH, hydroxide formation irukka. Therefore, because these metals, when it reacts with water, it forms alkali. They are all form alkaline nature, therefore they are called as alkali metals kudukrom, okay. But these two are this group 2. The S block elements of group 2 elements are known as alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metals means these all mostly exist or occurs in the form of its corresponding oxides in earth. For example, magnesium oxide, calcium oxide, barium oxide and so on. So when all that reacts with water, they also form its corresponding hydroxide. The group 1 are known as alkali metals, the group 2 elements are known as alkaline earth metals. These two groups constitute S block elements, okay. Then 13th group, which we call it as from 13 to 18, we call it as P block elements. Here there is no common name for this. Generally we can call this 13th group element as a boron family, Then the 14th group, starting from carbon, we call these elements as the element, or we call this as also family also, carbon family or carbon group elements. Then 15th group elements are known as nitrogen family or nitrogen group elements. Then the 16th group, 16th are the first 4 elements, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium. These are collectively known as chalcogens. Upon 16th group elements are generally known as chalcogens. Chalcogens, which we call it as ore forming elements, which means ore forming elements. Since most of the ores, what do you mean by ore? Ore in which we can extract the metals, okay. Metals can be extracted from the ore. Most of the metals occurs in the form of its corresponding oxide, sulfide. The formula the 16th group elements are generally known as chalcogens. Let us give an example. For copper pyrite, which is considered an ore of copper. Copper pyrite, which is considered an ore of copper. One of the ore of copper. It exists in a formula, sulfide formula. Therefore, most of the metals occurs in the form of either oxide form or in sulfide form or in sulfide form, which we call that as chalcogens or ore forming elements. 17th group elements, that means fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, acetylene. These are all called as halogens. The 17th group elements are generally known as halogens, okay. This may be asked in one word, so you just keep the general names of that particular family, okay. The 17th group generally are known as halogens. Gens means producer. Okay. About 17th group are known as halogens. Halogens means salt forming. Salt producers. Okay. Halogens means they are all generally salt producers. So we know that here it contains chloride. Sodium mostly exists in the form of sodium chloride. Bromine, when it combines magnesium, it forms its corresponding salt, magnesium bromide, and so on. So these are generally called as halogens, which means salt producers, okay. And we know that the 18th group is known as inert gases. What do you mean by that word inert? chemically inactive. Inert means chemically inactive. We know that the atoms can combine with other atom to attain stability, to attain its octet configuration, isn't it? Octet means 8. It contains 8 electrons in the outermost shell. To attain the 8 electrons, the atoms may combine with other atom either by transfer or sharing of electrons to attain stability. But here I told you already here, isn't it? Here it contains NS2 NP6 configuration. Therefore, here S orbital it contains 2 electrons, the P orbital it contains 6 electrons. Therefore, totally already it attains stability. Therefore, most probably does not take part in chemical reactions. But nowadays, due to advancement in chemistry, few components, xenon components are prepared. Okay. So, chemically inactive. So, what we are calling this 18th group as an inert gases. Most probably does not take part in chemical reactions because of its complete octet configuration. Okay. And otherwise, we can call this also inert gases, rare gases, since it mostly occurs rarely in the atmosphere, and then noble gases. So, these are already you know, and then S and P block elements are collectively known as representative elements. S and P block elements are collectively known as representative elements, and D block elements are known as transition elements. Why it is called as transition elements? So, these are all metals. S block elements are generally metals. So, here P blocks pathana, the 13th group mostly it contains metals. The 14th group, why it is all metals and metallites, let us explain it afterwards. Okay. They are all metallites. When we pass on to 15, 16, 17, here these are all gases. Completely gases. Mostly here there occurs non-metals exist in P block elements. Here they all have the tendency to lose electrons, whereas here they all have the tendency to gain electrons to attain stability. In between S and P block elements, we are just passing on the characters from electropositive character to electronegative character. So, it is an intermediate between electropositive and electronegative character, therefore, which we call it as transition elements. And then F block elements are known as inner transition elements. Why it is called as inner transition elements? Actually, it is placed along with D block elements. D block elements are known as transition. Actually, its placement is also given along with the D block elements, but because of its outermost electron, the F orbital, it is called as F block elements. So, it is called as inner transition elements. Now, let us see the electronic configuration of elements in period wise. Okay, ma? I hope now you can understand well about the modern periodic table. Now, if we just pass on to the electronic configuration, how the elements are arranged in the order of increasing atomic number. Now, you can have a full detail about that periodic table. Okay, let us pass on to electronic configuration of elements in period wise. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Now we are going to see the electronic configuration in a periods. Okay. So, periods means horizontal rows in a periodic table are known as periods. Totally there are 7 periods. The Aufbau principle and the electronic configuration of atom provides a theoretical foundation of modern periodic table. Two concepts. It is detailedly explained by the help of 2 concepts. One on the electronic configuration and then next one Aufbau principle. Electronic configuration, Aufbau principle. What is meant by electronic configuration? Arrangement of electrons in an atom are known as electronic configuration. Arrangement of electrons in an atom. Aufbau principle. So, while we are arranging the electrons in an atom means the electrons are filled in the order of increasing energies. Okay, the electrons are filled in the order of increasing energies. The energy levels increase depending upon that only we are going to arrange the electrons in an orbital. So, before passing on to Aufbau principle as well as electronic configuration, I will explain somewhat in a simple way, that means about the quantum numbers which we will studied in the second lesson, atomic structure. Actually, atomic structure lesson la quantum numbers pati you will still you can study detailing. Since you should know the basic ideas of these அப்படிங்கிறதுனால I am going to teach you. Okay, ஒரு small simple சொல்லிருது, நீங்கள் just listen that one. Okay, first we know that this is it's an atom. First the center part of an atom is occupied by the nucleus, and here these are we call it as shells or energy levels. The energy levels are fixed. Okay, so if n, so this is the first shell, this is the second shell, this is the third shell, and then fourth shell, and then fifth shell. சரியா? அப்போ for the first shell, so here we just it is numbered as K shell, L shell, M shell, N shell, O. K, L, M, N, the next shell P shell, and so on அப்படியே போயிட்டே இருக்கும். சரியா? அப்போ here this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these all corresponds to the number of shells. These all corresponds to the number of shells. These shells are determined by number, by a letter which we call it as n. This n corresponds to principal quantum number, which we call it as principal quantum number. Okay. Quantum number அப்படிங்கிறது, what do you mean by that word? Quantum number is an address of an electron in an atom. Address of an electron in an atom. சரியா? There are 4 quantum numbers over there: principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, magnetic quantum number, spin quantum number. சரியா? These all quantum numbers can be explained detailedly for you all in the lesson 2 atomic structure. But since we need this, you should know what is meant by n. This n corresponds to the number of shells, this which we call that as principal quantum number. If n equal to 1 means we call that shell as a K shell. We call that shell as a, so let us consider here as a shell. So K shell. If n equal to 2, that corresponds to L shell. If n equal to 3, which corresponds to M shell. If n equal to 4, which corresponds to N shell. N equal to 5, which corresponds to O shell. K, L, M, N, O. If n equal to 6, K, L, M, N, O, P. If n equal to 7, Q shell. Okay, Q caps. Okay, Q shell. Okay, but this determines the number of shells. We call this n as a principal quantum number. But this principal quantum number determines the number of shells. Okay, determines the number of shells. That determines the shell, which shell the electrons are located. Okay, but determines the shells. Now each shell contains subshells. ஒவ்வொரு ஷெல்லையும் என்ன இருக்குன்னா சப்ஷெல்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஓகே, அப்போ each shell corresponds to number of subshells. Okay, if n equal this, by the help of this number also we can determine the number of subshells for each shell. We can determine the number of subshells for each shell. If n equal to 1 means which contains only one shell, which contains only one shell, only subshell, which we call that shell. Here let us write here as subshells. Okay, yes. அப்போ how can we write அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோன்னா, the principal quantum number is 1. Therefore you have to write oneness. We have to write oneness. If here n equal to 2, which determines the shell. This corresponds to here what's the number? 2. Therefore it contains 2 subshells. What are they? S and P. S and P. Okay, S and P. அப்போ this belongs to the shell number 2. அப்போ எப்படி போடணும்னா, you have to write it here as 2s 2p. 2s 2p. Okay, so here n equal to 3. சரியா? M shell. அப்போ here it contains 3 subshells. What are they அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, S, P, D. Since it belongs to third shell, you have to mention it as 3s 3p 3d. 3s 3p 3. Otherwise we can call it as orbitals also. Okay, if n equal to 4, அப்போ என்ன வரணும்? It contains 4 subshells. What are they அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, S, P, D and F. சரியா? So to mention that number, 4s 4p 4d 4f. Okay, here n equal to 5, which belongs to the shell as O shell. அப்போ என்னெல்லாம் வரணும்? S, P, D, G. S, P, D, F. How can we write? 5s 5p 5d 5p 5f 5g. அப்போ can you understand now all of you? This number also determines the number of subshells. Okay, அப்போ while we are going to, since why I am taking all this means, since you have to write the electronic configuration of elements in a period, isn't it? So to write it in, we have to follow Aufbach principle. அப்போ Aufbach principle follow பண்ணுறதுக்கு you should know all these things. அடுத்து பார்த்தோன்னா என்ன வரும்? 6x 6p 6d 6d அப்படி போயிட்டே இருக்கும். Okay, so now we know that the s orbital, we call these as orbitals also. How many electrons each orbital can accommodate அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோன்னா, in the last class itself I told you the s orbital can accommodate 2 electrons. The p orbital can accommodate 6 electrons. Why it is accommodating 6 electrons? Why the s orbital can accommodate only 2 electrons? Everything will be explained for you in atomic structure. The lesson atomic structure, your miss will take in detail, okay? Then d orbital can accommodate 10 electrons. Then f orbital can accommodate 14 electrons. Let us stop up to this, since in our periodic table we are just following up to f orbital only, okay? G orbital, orbitals are not at all included in the periodic table nowadays, okay? So let us stop up to this now. Whenever we are following s orbital, it can accommodate 2 electrons. While we are passing on to p orbital, it can accommodate 6 electrons. D போகும்போது 10 electrons, f போகும்போது 14 electrons. Okay, now let us see. For first few elements, I will tell you how you have to write the electronic configuration in the order of increasing energies, okay? Let us see that one first. So for that, how we have to write that orbitals according to the order of increasing energies, okay? First you write as like this, okay? 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f. Then 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f. I am not including 5g, since the 5g orbitals are not at all included in the modern periodic table, okay? So let us stop up to this itself. Then 6s, 6p, 6d, 6f. Then 7s, 7p, 7d, 7. Dear students, you just write an atomic number and fill the electrons as like this yourself, okay? You just draw a line now. இந்த 8 years ஆக்சுவலாக வரணும், சரியா? let us stop. So it starts from 1s. அப்படி தானே? அப்போது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 1s எழுதிக்கோங்க. தென் இப்படி வரணும். அப்போது 2s. தென் எங்கே ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது? ஃபினிஷ் பண்ணிட்டு இங்கே போகுது. அப்போது here it starts from 2p followed by 3s. 2p followed by 3s. Then you write, draw as like this, okay? இப்போ starts from 3p, 4s. சரியா? Continued from 3p followed by 4s. Then 3p, 4s. So அடுத்து முடிக்கல கேப் போட்டு போடும் 3d, 4p, 5s. So 3d, 4p, 5s. And then 4d, 5p, 6s. 4d, 5p, 6s. Okay, now. So as like this you have to write, okay? Then you putting na, then again போகும்போது 4f, 5d, 6p, 7f வரும். அப்படி தானே? 4f, 5d, 6p, 7s. அப்படி போட்டே இருக்கணும், சரியா? So now let us, let us consider for an atomic, first for atomic number 1. If you write for hydrogen means you have to write as like this only, 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, hydrogen and hydrogen like ions. That means for 1s electron, no need to follow this one. Simply you write that electron orbital as 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f. Dear students, the order of element of electrons, the order of increasing energies for one electron system, you can write as like this order, okay? 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, சரியா? One electron system. One electron system means, let us consider hydrogen, which contains, the atomic number for hydrogen is 1, therefore it contains only one electron. Therefore for hydrogen we can follow this as like that of one electron system for some ions. For example, Li2 plus ions. What's the atomic number for lithium? Actually 3. Then atomic number for lithium is 3. Here it was 2 electrons. Here now it contains only 1 electron. Only 1 electron system we can write the order as like this. Now let us see for other examples. For other than 1 electron system, we have to fill the electrons order of increasing energies as like this only. Suppose if you are going to write for an atom, for an element which has an atomic number 11 example enadhu sodium. Sodium atomic number enna paathirukom 11. Seri appo 11 the atomic number is for sodium. But how can we write the electronic configuration? If it comes atomic number is 11 means it contains 11 electrons, isn't it? Atomic number is equal to number of protons which is also equal to number of electrons. Appo atomic number 11 means it contains 11 electrons. Above for sodium, how we have to write the electronic configuration? Let us consider here. Sure, first orbital energy 1s. Appo s orbital can accommodate 2 electrons. Appo potrupinga 1s2. The next one, what's the next orbital? 2s. Appo here also it contains 2 electrons. Then p2p orbital. The p orbital can accommodate 6 electrons. Appo here it contains 6 electrons. Now next one 3s orbital. So atomic number 11 contains only 11 electrons. Upon 2, 2, 2, 4, 4 plus 6, 10. The remaining it contains only 1 electron. Therefore you have to stop up to this 3s part. So this is the way you have to follow to write the electronic configuration for all these elements as like this. Suppose if you are going to write the electronic configuration for magnesium. Magnesium, its atomic number is 12. Atomic number 12. Atomic number 12 means therefore it contains 12 electrons. Now how can we write the electronic configuration now? Again 1s2, then 2s2, p6, 3s, 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 6, 10, then 2. Have you all understood how you have to write the electronic configuration now? As like this you have to write, suppose if you are going to write for calcium whose atomic number is considered to be 20. Appo calcium atomic number 20. Appo how many electrons are there? 20 electrons are there. Appo how can you write? For 20 electrons you have to write, okay? Appo first 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6 all vandirukku 8 10 12 18 appo 4s2. So you have to stop up to this. So this is the way you have to write the electronic configuration by using Aufbau principle. By using Aufbau principle. Aufbau principle means the electrons are full in the order of increasing energies. Appo 1s vide 2s energy kuda. When we comparing 2s to 2p, the energies of 2p orbital is greater than that of 2s. 2p vide 3s ki kuda. 3s vide 3p ki kuda. 3p vide 4s orbital energy kuda. The electrons are filled in the order of increasing energies. So these two concepts only forms the theoretical foundation of modern periodic table. Okay, now let us write. So this is the way now you are going to write the electronic configuration for period wise. Okay, now already we have discussed the first period. It contains 2 elements. What are they? Hydrogen and helium. What is the hydrogen, helium? What is the atomic number for hydrogen? 1. Appo it starts from s orbital. Here the s block start agudhu, ns1 starts from ns1 and ends at np6 orbital. Appo inge varumbodhu n equal to 1. Appo for hydrogen how can we write? 1s1. Then atomic number 1, therefore it contains 1s1. For helium atomic number 2, therefore 1s2. The shell is completed. N equal to 1 means belongs to a shell, K shell. Number of electrons can be accommodated in the K shell enna paathom? This corresponds to the principal quantum number. This shells vechukkom. Number of electrons in each shell. Seriya, each period. Number of elements in each period vechukkom. Seriya, the first period contains only 2 elements. Suppose starts from hydrogen ends at helium. If n equal to 2, so how many elements are there in the second period? 8 elements. Starts from lithium ends at neon. So what's the atomic number for lithium? 3. How can we write? 1s2, 2s1. So here atomic number 10 for neon. How can we write? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. That means, so the first shell, second period varumbodhu the inner shell is completed, isn't it? Appo starts to fill from the second shell. இப்போ lithium வந்து atomic number 3. அப்போ here it accommodates 2 electrons. Okay, listen here man, the second period it accommodates 8 elements. What are the 8 elements in the second period? Let us lithium, beryllium, then boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. சரியா? அப்போ lithium here atomic number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. சரியா? அப்போ lithium பார்க்கும்போது என்ன போடுறோம்? It starts from 2s1. 1s எல்லாமே innermost shell is completed. அப்போ atomic number 4 போடும்போது என்ன வந்துருங்க? 2s2. That means 1s2, 2s2. boron வரும்போது 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. இங்கே வந்துச்சுன்னா 2s2, 2p2 ஆயிரும். இங்கே வரும்போது 2s2, 2p3. Here 2s2, 2p4. Here 2s2, 2p5. Here 2s2, 2p6. Therefore, the second shell is completed. So, these 8 elements are accommodated in the second period. As like that, third shell ponona, here the third shell also contains 8 elements, isn't it? The third shell also contains 8 elements, starts from sodium. Sodium varumbodhu atomic number 11 appena potrupom 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1 start agudha. So, it starts from third shell. Seriya? Third period. So, the electron enters into third period. Third shell appo 3. அப்போ சோடியத்திலிருந்து எது வரைக்கும் போயிடும்? அதே மாதிரி as like that argon வரும்போது the shell is completed. That means 3p6. அப்போ in between sodium to argon we have 8 elements. எத்தனை elements இருக்கும்? From sodium to argon 8 elements are there. சரியா? இப்போ n equal to 4 போட்டோம்னா it starts from potassium and ends at krypton. Potassium here ends at krypton. அப்படிதானே? அப்போ potassium பார்க்கும்போது here there are 4 subshells பார்த்தோம். அப்படிதானே? yes, n equal to 4 தானே? yes, n equal to 4 actually it accommodates what are the subshells அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா 4s, 3d, 4p. Actually how many elements are there? அப்படி பார்த்தோம். எத்தனை elements பார்த்தோம்? Nearly 18 elements are there. Okay, 18 elements are accommodated in the fourth period. அப்போ 4sல 2. Here we have just writing here I am as 3d. 3d ஏன் அப்படி போடுறோம்னா which we call that as d orbital வந்து n minus 1d in the orbital. n, that means here n equal to 4. அப்போ fourth period accommodated by 3d transition series. சரியா? The fourth period is accommodated by 3d transition series. 3d occupies from scandium to zinc. அப்போ here 2 d நால எத்தனை electrons பார்த்தோம்? 10. P ல 6. அப்போ totally 18 elements are there. As like that n equal to 5 பார்த்தோம்னா here also it contains 5s, 4d and 5p subshells. Okay, பார்த்தோம்னா இங்கே 2 elements. d வந்து 10, 5p ல p நால 6 electrons. Okay, இப்போ here also the period number 5 but it is accommodated by 4d transition series. Okay, for இங்க d வந்துட்டாலே you have to consider that as n minus p. Since penultimate shell la the d orbitals are accommodated only in the penultimate shell. அப்போ இருக்கும்போது n minus 1d. Here n equal to 5. அப்போ 5 minus 1 4d. If n equal to 6 பார்த்தோம்னா how can we write? For n equal to 6, 6s, then x here 6s க்கு அப்புறம் என்ன வரும்னா f block elements, 4 f block elements. Okay, 4 f block elements, then 5d transition series and then 6p. அப்போ s ல 2, f ல 14, d ல 10, p ல 6. அப்போ totally how many elements are there? 32 elements are accommodated in the 6th period. Okay, here 4f போடுற anti penultimate shell f orbital எழுதும்போது n minus 2 f subshell தான் n minus 2 போடும். d வந்தா n minus 1 d subshell. d வர இடத்துல n minus d we have to consider. இங்கே வரும்போது n minus 2. ஏன் அப்படின்னா since we are arranging the electrons order of increasing order by following Aufbach principle. You just Aufbach principle follow பண்ணி write the electronic configuration for some elements, then you can understand this. Okay, then n equal to 7 போடும்போது as like this 7s, 5f which includes actinides, then 6d and then 7p. Okay, 7s s can accommodate 2, then 5f orbital can accommodate 14, here 10, here 6. அப்போ totally 32 elements. So, in this order only we are filling the electrons in an orbitals. In this order only we are filling the electrons in orbitals. So, likewise only we have arranged the elements order of increasing atomic number following by electronic configuration as well as Hofbach principle. Okay. If you are, I hope that you just write the atomic number for some elements and write the electronic configuration yourself by following Hofbach principle, and then you can understand easily how the electrons are filled in how the elements are in the period wise. Okay. Thank you, ma.